Tonight's broadcast is made possible by Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be union. Four Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. The Right Group, the right way to buy and sell real estate. Mark Macknick, Chicagoland Tax Professionals. Blythe's Team Sports, where the athlete shops. And Hampton Inn, downtown Indianapolis. This is the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
And good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Game Day on the Region Sports Network. We come to you today from the BBall at Logansport High School as the Region Sports Network presents live audio coverage of the Indiana High School Boys Basketball Tournament as the Columbia City Eagles are set to face on our East Chicago Central Cardinals in semi-state semifinal action. Michael Brenner here along with the one and thankfully the only Jay Simmons. I only get to say that so many times left. It's going to be weird not working with you in two different jobs here in the near future, but I get to work with you today and excited for that.
Yeah, it's going to be another Cinderella story here. I think East Chicago Central pulled off the rabbit out of the hat last week, and let's see if they can do it again. Big underdog last week, another underdog tonight or this afternoon. I think they can do it.
I mean, when you get to this time of year, everybody wants that Cinderella story,
yes.
And East Chicago seems to be that Cinderella story right now. And glad that you folks at home are taking a little break from the college action. And your brackets are busted anyway. Don't worry about it. East Chicago is worried about busting brackets as well.
They are.
And they want to bust the bracket of the fans in Columbia City. The Eagles, I'll tell you what, they're having a really great season, 23-4 on the year. Matt Schaus, obviously in his sixth year, is really getting this team rocking and rolling. They have not lost since February 20th over at Northridge, who I believe just got the win over in Elkhart just a little bit ago.
Right.
So that winner will face the winner of a game that we got also going on over at Elkhart as well. But hey, Columbia City, you know, Jay, I was looking at this, look at their tournament history. They have never played in all the years. It goes back to like the 1920s. They have not played a team from East Chicago in the IHSAA tournament. So Columbia City getting a little East Chicago flavor here today.
Yeah, how about it? Yeah. Columbia City coming in. They're averaging 60 points offensively. Defensively, outstanding, only giving up 42 points a game. So East Chicago is going to have their work cut out for them. Columbia City as a team, 36% from the three-point line, Mr. Bradner, and it's going to be interesting. Can East Chicago slow them down from the three-point line?
Well, just because Columbia City hasn't faced East Chicago, they have faced region teams late in postseason action. You got to go back to 2004, though. You may remember this. I don't know. 2004, they beat Valparaiso to advance to the state championship game, which, if my memory serves, and you might be able to attest to this, was Robbie Hummel a freshman at that time? So Robbie Hummel may have been in that game the last time that Columbia City was trying to fight for a state champion.
That's an interesting tidbit right there.
I got you.
I love it.
When you get time to do some research, I got you. Well, I know you like the tidbits. Like I can go even further on the coaches and stuff like that. So, but yeah, you look at this Columbia City Eagles team, 17-10 just a year ago, and the improvement that has been made. A lot of seniors in this lineup, though. So it's going to be a tough challenge for East Chicago. But as you have pointed out, this team has definitely gone above and beyond what a lot of expectations are, and they're aware of that. Like the East Chicago players are aware that this is kind of the mantra that they've been given. They haven't been given the highest of expectations yet.
That's right.
They're superseding them. And we'll talk more about those East Chicago Central Cardinals on the other side of the break. You are listening to Game Day here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
When life takes an unexpected turn, you need someone in your corner. The Region lawyers stand up for you when it matters most. Facing criminal charges, injured in an accident, our experienced legal team is ready to fight for your rights and protect your future. We believe every client deserves personal attention, honest guidance, and relentless representation. In the region, we take care of our own, and we are proud to stand up for the people of our community. Call the Region Lawyers today at 219-750-9380 for a free consultation. The Region Lawyers, the gold standard for legal representation.
Have you heard? Stratton-Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratton-Manteau.
And we welcome you back to Game Day here on the Region Sports Network. Michael Brenner here along with the one and thankfully the only Jay Simmons as he salutes all of our wonderful fans as we bring you this fan appreciation broadcast, audio only. And for those of you that are like, where's the game or where's the video, you can check it out. We do have... don't have the rights to do the video. IHSAA takes those, so we're bringing you the audio-only broadcast. We give you a hometown broadcast as well. Speaking of the hometown, we're going to talk about the East Chicago Central Cardinals. We mentioned this is a team that it's very interesting how this team is coordinated because you've got a good group of seniors that have been on part of this ride, but then also a young core as well. It's either seniors or freshmen. There's not much in between.
Well, I like to call them the law group of Mew, Gillis, and Zayden Johnson, the law group. There we go. You know, the law firm. You know, you got three names in there. You got it. They're averaging 22 points as freshmen. That is outstanding as freshmen. You know, we've seen them develop throughout the season, and it just seems like they have not only played great, but have played into the moments where you think sometimes a freshman might not be able to do that, but they've been playing great. As the moments get bigger, they get bigger. And, you know, you look at last week's game, you got Mew with 14 points, Gillis with 5, and Zayden Johnson with 2 points thrown in there. That's outstanding for freshmen at a regional championship game.
Yeah, not too shabby at all. The freshman Mew has not been shy about having a really good season. There is no question about that. Even before his first game of the season, a lot of the senior leadership kind of took him to the side and said, hey, don't be scared. Just be you. Get out there and just hoop before his first game, and he has really shown and done that. Yeah,
Coach Marue, in his 4 years at East Chicago, 68-28, outstanding, 12-15 this year. Them as a team are averaging 58 points offensively, 63 defensively. They have been doing an outstanding job. Red hot last week from the three-point line. They were 11 for 20, 55% overall. What a great job. They could have been standing backwards at the three-point line and just throwing them up and they were going in. But they moved the ball so good and so crisp. Michael, it had to have been one of the best games I think I've seen East Chicago play all year.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. Yes. Then.
They're peaking at the right time.
I think if they had thrown it behind their heads, that would have been one of our plays of the game. That would have been pretty darn impressive. By the way, you mentioned the law firm team a little bit. We want to remind everyone today's coverage of East Chicago Central Cardinals basketball is brought to you by the Region Lawyers, the gold standard for legal representation. Call today at 219-885-3957 or visit them on the web at theregionlawyers.com to schedule your free consultation.
Yeah, it's a great segue right there. Got two different law firms going on here.
You know, it's like you and I have been doing this for a couple of years. Know how to company guys.
That's right.
Our executive producer Chris Ramirez in the house as well, so hopefully he's listening to that.
Well, you know, you look at last week's game. Jamari Pollard, 32 points, Lantern Man superhero player of the game, 10 for 17 from the field. Outstanding shooting.
Well, and East Chicago has been in this situation before. They were in this semi-state. They were at the BBall last year. They beat Delta, who lost earlier today in the first game here. They beat Delta 62-46 to advance to the championship game last year, which they're trying to do again tonight by beating Columbia City. It's going to be a tall task. Columbia City is a very good team. So East Chicago lost last year to South Bend St. Joe. So they're kind of looking at that as like they're trying to avenge that loss last year and propel their way to a state championship down in Indianapolis. We are about set to bring you the starting lineups for both teams. Before we do that, our game day forecast is brought to you by our friends at Akime Electric Heating and Cooling. Today's forecast here in the region is a really nice, comfortable 52 degrees. It's going to get up to the 70s, I think, today. Should be really nice. So that is your game day forecast brought to you by our friends at Akime Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping it cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. For Columbia City, the starting lineup, you've got number 3, Ian St. John, the sophomore, followed by number 4, Oren Marshall, the 6'3 senior. You got Josh Eberly, who wears number 10, the 6-foot senior, along with Landon Richmond, number 11, the 6'5 senior. And then you got Trey Deckman, the number 20 senior. Don't know why I gave you the numbers. You can't really see them. But for us, for our memory, that's what we're going to do there. So St. John, Marshall, Eberly, Richmond, and Deckman. And really, when it comes to Columbia City, they are led by a lot of a lot of senior leadership on that team, except for St. John in that sophomore rank as well. But in terms of points per game, it's Richmond and Marshall who are leading the way. Richmond, about 20 points a game. Yeah,
he's outstanding. He doesn't come off the court. They're only 6 deep, Mr. Bradner. They got a short bench. Just looking at some statistics, they've only really, that's it. Minute-wise, they play. Richmond averages 28 minutes a game, so he doesn't really come off the court very much. And Richmond also averages just under 8 rebounds a game as well, so nearly a double-double. Yeah. For the East Chicago Central Cardinals, your starting lineup, the 6-foot senior Jamari Pollard, followed by the 5'11 freshman Makai Gillis, and then you've got the 6'2 senior Joseph Watkins Jr. He has had an impressive season, impressive career at East Chicago, followed by the 6'1 freshman Najee Mew, and then you've got the 6'4 senior Lance Jackson as well, as they have hit the floor. And again, as you mentioned, under Coach Alamarui in his 4th season with East Chicago. Yeah, he coached as perfect of a game as you possibly could last week. Came out with a unique defense, a 1-2-2 zone defense, was pressuring them to the outside. And then when the big man for Marion got the ball, they swarmed on him and made him pass the ball out. Even though he did get 38 points in that game, they seemed to shut everybody else down, which was a great job. And then we talk about some, we've mentioned some of the names already for East Chicago. Jamari Pollard averaging 13 points a game. Watkins and Mew also just over 10 points a game as well. We're just about set for tip here from the Berry Bowl at Logansport. About an hour and a half-ish south here in Indiana from our location. And we're about ready to tip. The ball is up, and it's going to be controlled by Columbia City, who wears the black jerseys with the gold numbering as well, which we appreciate because now we're able to really see those numbers, which is always nice from our perspective. And an early steal here for the Cardinals. They're in the white jerseys with the red numbers and kind of a red trim on the sides as well. East Chicago came out in a man defense, so it's interesting to see how they change it up from last week to this week. So for East Chicago, now Gillis with it as they do a little stop and pop here, tries to hand it off to Pollard, who tries for the early 3 from long range, can't get it to go. Back in transition, left to right for Columbia City, and it's stolen away here by East Chicago, trying to go up to the window and in, and the first points of the game are for Makai Gillis. Makai Gillis did a nice job right there. Full court pressure by East Chicago, just about causing a turnover. Well, they've already got 2 turnovers and are able to connect on one of those situations here, and now trying to keep his pivot foot down for the Eagles, and they're having a hard time just kind of getting through this in-your-face defense as more points are scored here for Owen this Marshall. Time now for Owen Marshall that time. So he gets his first points. East Chicago just trying to set their offense up, get some motion moving. They got to get moving here. They're sort of standing still, unlike last week. Pollard now at the volleyball line, trying to go off the screen from Jackson. Gives it up now to Gillis, who shoots for the 3. Jackson is there underneath, puts it up, gets fouled. Count the bucket as well. So he'll go to the line for the old-fashioned 3-point play. But Lance Jackson picking up his first points using all 6'4 of that frame. Yes, he did. Great job positioning himself offensively to get the rebound and put it back in. Jackson, 53% from the free throw line on the season. I was not able to see who they did get for the foul. We'll try to keep you up to date on that as well. And Jackson connects on the free throw, so
Early 3-point lead here for East Chicago is the Eagles having a hard time trying to find someone to get it into, slipping through the defense there on the full court press. Jackson going to let that get all the way through.
And it looked like Richmond on the easy layup, breaking the fast break. Breaking his zone defense.
Now long pass up ahead, trying to put this one up. Can't get it to go too strong for St. John.
Oh, they're calling. They're
going to call the
goaltending.
So St. John gets his first points.
Boy, and Columbia just really moving that ball up and down the court really quickly, getting through that zone, that full court pressure by East Chicago very easily, and getting some transition baskets.
This one poked from behind, but Pollard able to still connect here for East Chicago. Again, they will go right to left on the floor from our vantage point here at the Berry Bowl. Trying to feed this one in to Jackson. Jackson from the right block spins, fires up. Too strong, can't get it to go. Rebound comes down to the Eagles. Eagles come left to right. Eberle dishes it off to the corner. Top of the key three for St. John. Thought about it, but did not go for it. St. John going to feed this one in now. Going this one up, going a little too strong. No foul call. And we got an injury down to the other end, but no stoppage of play. Going all the way up and trying to clean this one up is Watkins, who gets the bucket to give East Chicago the lead. Still no stoppage of play here. Trying to feed over the press, giving it up to Deckman. Now to the far side of the court, Deckman with it. Giving it up to Richmond now, off to the side. Now top of the key for Marshall. Pulls up from the three-point line and gets it to go. So Marshall an early 5 points in this one for Columbia City, and they lead at 9-7.
Yeah, just a great look. Splashdown City right there for the three-pointer.
So just under 5 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Again, the winner will face New Haven later tonight. Thought about the three was Watkins. Now decides for it. Hits the front iron. Can't get it to go. Rebound comes down to Richmond.
Yeah, Richmond slowing it down a little bit, trying to get into their set offense.
Goes off the screen here for Marshall. Marshall feeds it down low to Richmond, who gets the bucket. Early 4 points for him.
Yeah, Richmond did a nice job coming off the screen. Now a little turnover. Nope, they're calling it out of bounds on Columbia City, but Richmond did a nice job moving without the ball, got an easy look as they collapsed on the double team.
Deckman trying for the interception there, but gets it out of bounds and runs into the table. So it'll be East Chicago to inbound. Again, they're going right to the left. This is going to be interesting. Both teams like to play quickly, so who is this going to play a favor to? Is East Chicago going to want to slow things down a little bit to play their game? Or are they going to play to Columbia City's speed as well?
Yeah, I think Columbia City's really been pushing the tempo more so than East Chicago. East Chicago looks like they want to get into their set offense.
Pollard giving up to Watkins here, who has early 2 points. Tries to fight through on the Euro step, puts it in, and they say traveling for Watkins, so no bucket on that one.
Yeah, Watkins took that extra Euro step, a Euro step plus one.
Yeah.
Good call by the officials. They've been on top of it so far. Now let's see, East Chicago going full court man-to-man pressure. And Columbia City has been taking full advantage of that and being able to get out quickly and make some easy buckets.
So Deckman crosses the timeline, dribbles with the right hand, cuts through the defense there. Going all the way up and laying it in is Marshall. Marshall having himself a pretty good game here, the 6'3 senior, and a timeout taken by East Chicago. It's a 13-7 ball game. 3:52 to go here, so we're going to keep it right here. Strachan Van Til hometown scoreboard update for you. We did see Crown Point was ahead in the action over in Elkhart 12-5 against Fort Wayne Snyder. Again, they will get Northridge later on this evening. The winner here will take on New Haven. Now, interesting for Columbia City. Columbia City's in the same conference, that Northeast 8 conference with New Haven. New Haven won that conference, going 6-1. Columbia City was tied for second, going 5-2, I think, with 2 other teams. So if Columbia City were to hold on to the lead and get the win, it'll be a conference semi-state championship. I don't know how often that happens, but
well, it's interesting. You know, good job right there by Coach Maruri to call timeout. Columbia has just been getting so many easy looks in the lane. They've been breaking through their pressure on the full court zone, that full court pressure, and they've just been able to get some easy looks. And now Coach Maroy's got to, make an adjustment on that defensively.
Well, and it looked early on like Columbia City was having a hard time just adjusting to the way that East Chicago was kind of doing things defensively, but they have really settled in and figured it out quickly here as a little stop and pop for Watkins from the left block. Can't get it to go. Rebound comes down to Mew, and Mew unfortunately turns it over. He's been quiet so far in this game. He's the standout freshman on this East Chicago team.
Yeah, Mew got the offensive rebound, but just seemed to slip out of his hands and right out of bounds.
So Marshall will bring it up the floor. Marshall from the volleyball line kicks it around to Eberly. Now putting it up and in, as this will be Richmond who goes up off the window to get it to go. He's got 6 points early on in this one, so East Chicago will come in transition right to left into the corner for Pollard. He can't get it to go, and this is, you talked about East Chicago shooting 36% from three-point land last week. That's one thing that if they're going to be in this game, as they're down 8 right now, they're going to have to step up and probably get some of those to start falling.
Yes, they do. They shot outstanding last week, and they just can't get anything to fall from the three-point line.
Long-range three put up for the Eagles. That one doesn't fall, but the rebound does fall, and this one is a jump shot for Owen Marshall. Between Marshall and Richmond, they are having quite the standout game right now. 10-point game early on, 2:30 to go in this opening quarter. East Chicago now coming back in transition, trying to up off the window. That time it was Watkins he's got 4 points, trying to get things going here for East Chicago.
Yeah, Watkins takes it strong look baseline and banks it in. Now East Chicago backed out of that full court pressure and just going half court trap right here.
Didn't have the same role that he's got now, but he embraced his role last year, and now he's become one of those important senior members of this team. And good ball movement here for the Eagles.
Yeah, it looked like St. John right there from the corner hits the three ball.
So St. John with it to get that one going. He's got 5. So 3 scores for Columbia City, 3 scores for East Chicago. As we hit the final 97 seconds of this opening quarter, East Chicago just trying to get some momentum going their way. That's the thing, though, when you're maybe struggling offensively, as Watkins pulls up from 3, hits the back iron, going back down in transition for the Eagles.
Yeah, East Chicago definitely not as hot as they were last week from the three-point line. They've got to get something else going.
Spin move, putting it up and laying it in for Richmond. Nice move.
Wow, what a great move for a 6'5" guy to have that kind of feet and just get a great look and just spun right around Lance Jackson for the easy bucket.
So coming back down in transition, officials trying to tell them to get ahead of or have a seat on their bench, because now they're moving in transition here as Marshall from the right wing on the word bowl in the Berry Bowl here in Logansport. Long-range 3 put up, back iron, no good. Rebound comes down to Gillis. Gillis moving ahead on the floor into the paint, lays it up, trying to put it in, but can't get it to go. No whistle and all that contact. A lot of bodies connecting there. And now Marshall going to take his time bringing it down the floor as he crosses the timeline here. 31 seconds to go in this opening quarter. Deckman with it, now back to Marshall at the volleyball line extended, driving to the right wing, gets stopped here by the defenders. Skip pass to the top of the key for Richmond. Back to Deckman at the top of the key.
Looks like they're going to settle for the last shot here in the first quarter.
Yeah, down to 12 seconds with Marshall. Marshall feeding it off to Richmond here. Richmond with a spin move inside of the paint, meets the defense, and they're going to have a... Well, no, they're going to say Richmond as they steal the inbound play as well. Richmond got the bucket. They were trying to, I thought maybe there was a whistle, but they're going to say no whistle. So the quarter is going to come to an end with Columbia City leading 24-9. Quite the run for the Eagles here in this opening quarter. He just laid it right in, and then I think everybody thought that there was a whistle, and then he just stole the inbound pass. But we're going to step aside at the end of the first. You're watching Game Day here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialists.
Headquartered in Griffith, Indiana, Absolute Power Systems has been delivering top-notch service since 2004, with a team of skilled technicians boasting extensive training on some of the biggest names in the business, like Cummins, Caterpillar, John Deere, Volvo, and more. They focus on providing exceptional industrial engine service and generator power system maintenance and repair. Check them out on the web at AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business absolutely.
Welcome back here on the Region Sports Network. Michael Brenner here along with the
That's right.
thankfully the only Jay Simmons. Surprise, we're not at the Berry Bowl, but we feel like we're at the
Yes,
Berry
how
Bowl.
about it?
And we're trying to send all of our positive vibes over to East Chicago right now as we begin the second quarter at the Berry Bowl. Columbia City with a 24-9 lead. Nice move there by Pollard trying to connect, but it is stolen away as a layup is off the window and is good for Deckman. Deckman will get the first points of this second quarter.
And a foul. So old-fashioned three-point play coming up here for Columbia City as they expand the lead 26-9 here early in the second quarter.
So it'll be Deckman to go to the line, trying for that, as you mentioned, that old-fashioned three-point play.
58% from the free throw line, but Richmond gets the rebound and tries to go back up and gets a foul, and he's going to come up and shoot two, as he is 64% from the free throw line.
So trying to capitalize on the missed shot, and then gets to go to the line himself.
As a team, Columbia City 64% from the strike.
64%. You were used to seeing that in school, weren't you?
That's about my average.
On those test papers and whatnot?
Oh, yes. Here you go, Mr. Bradner, right there. Got a little scoreboard update for you.
Strachan Van Til hometown scoreboard update. Close game over in Elkhart. Crown Point leading Fort Wayne Snyder 20-18 as Richmond knocked down that first free throw.
Yeah, but it looks like about 5 seconds left in the first quarter at where Crown Point is playing.
Elkhart.
Okay, there we go. Thank you.
I got you. Checking into this game for East Chicago as well, Jewel Bryant, as Wolford goes to Bryant. Now back to the top of the key for Watkins. Thought about the three, hesitated, gives it off to Mew here. Mew off to Johnson now.
Yeah, front iron right there, but Watkins gets the rebound.
Gillis tried for the three, couldn't get that one to connect, but the rebound comes down to Watkins. Off his foot. Now all of a sudden, Johnson with it, goes back to the volleyball line. No shot clock on high school, obviously, so you got time. Wolford tries for the three. Not going to be good as we do have a whistle.
Yeah, it looks like a little blocking foul right there by number 10, Josh Eberly. That'll be the first foul for Columbia City in the second quarter.
We'd like to remind everyone that today's live stream powered by Absolute Power Systems in Griffith, providing exceptional service for industrial engines, pumps, and generator power systems. For more info, visit AbsolutePowerSystems.com. Absolute Power Systems, powering your business absolutely. Inbound here for East Chicago on the left side of the court. Mew trying as hard as he can from that right block, feeding it off, but stolen away this time by the Eagles, who are just having their way with this game right now.
Yeah, Deckman right there was able to come up with the steal.
Read the play perfectly.
Yes,
we talk a lot, Jay, about situations where as Deckman pulls up from the three, hits the back iron, no good, rebound comes down to Mew. There are just some guys as Deckman swats that one away. It'll be East Chicago ball right in front of the student section for Columbia City. There are some guys that just read basketball differently, and that's where you see the most success come from. And especially as you get to this varsity level, those are the guys that seem to step up and be those special guys and sometimes those coaches as well later on down the road.
Yeah, great job anticipating right there. Now East Chicago's got the ball in their half-court movement, see if they can get an open look.
Down to about 6:15 left here in the first half. East Chicago has not scored in this second quarter as of yet, and we'll have a whistle here.
Looked like Bryant got the ball tipped away from him, and the ball goes back out of bounds, but it's going to be East Chicago ball, again, right in front of the Columbia City student body.
And I'm sure that's where Mew really wants to be right now as he's hearing it from those fans, as they are literally leaning over right into his ear. Sure, that was comfortable. Long range three put up, hit the back iron, no good. Watkins, and this is the same thing we can kind of see in the college game as well, Jay. If you're not hitting your threes and you're a team that tends to shoot a lot of threes, that becomes an issue if you're not connecting.
Yeah, East Chicago, I think 0 for the day so far from the three-point line, unlike last week.
Yeah, they have not. But here's the thing, if this score holds up the way that it's kind of been, you do have a situation where as going up and in on there, I believe that was Richmond on that one.
Great ball movement right there. Without the ball, Richmond got an open look.
Back down in transition, trying to get something going offensively. Still no points in this second quarter for East Chicago. But here's the thing. If they come out in the second half or late in this game, they can get right back into this by shooting the three and then get some stops from the Eagles.
Yeah, they just, Richmond just has been taking them to task, getting some easy looks.
He's got 12 points already in this one. Pollard with the basketball now, trying to get off to Mew. Mew stops and pops, puts up the shot, hits the iron, and the iron is not kind to the Cardinals right now. There's no question about it. There might be a lid on that basket. We'll have to check over at the Berry Bowl. A little bit of a slip here. Regathers himself as Marshall, trying to feed the top of the key here.
Yeah, Columbia City just sort of stagnant right now.
Oh, what a pass down to the baseline, and able to corral that one was St. John. St. John in the corner and then gets fouled aggressively.
It looks like the ball was tapped out of bounds.
And they're not going to say a foul, but there's a lot of contact there, and maybe tried to sell it a little bit. I think we just had the awards for
Academy Awards?
Yeah, the Academy, yeah.
But this isn't soccer, is it? Laying on the ground?
Let's see, who flops more, basketball players or soccer players?
Soccer.
Going into the corner, St. John thought about the three, dishes it out now to the corner for Deckman. Deckman gives it back up, tries to regather on his side as St. John. He's able to do it. Deckman kicks it off to the corner for Marshall. Marshall driving the baseline, kicks it up to Richmond, who's able to gather it. See Coach Marui in our screen telling his guys, get up, bring that ball pressure, get in their face. The problem, I would say, is St. John pulls up for the three, no good. This one taps back out, and it goes right to Mew, but there is a foul called.
It looked like over-the-back call against Columbia City, so another foul, team foul for Columbia City.
I would say, though, when you do want that man-to-man pressure, and you want guys in your face, but you don't want to overplay it, right? Because you can't. It's hard to read those interceptions and where those passes might be going, so you don't have a chance for those turnovers like you might be wanting if you are up in their face, and sometimes you can get face guarded.
Yeah, Richmond's been getting some great looks. Now let's see East Chicago get it to Lance Jackson at the box.
And Lance Jackson doing all the dirty work down there, making all the spin moves, gets his own rebound, puts it back up, trying it on the reverse. Can't get it to go. Richmond comes down with the rebound, and now Columbia City going to control the pace of this game. They were speeding things up, now slowing things down a little bit to play their game. Bad spot to pick up your dribble, but he's able to get it back was Marshall. Marshall dribbling to the right side, hands off to Clausen now, back up to Richmond at the top of the key, and they're going to be patient. They're going to wait for their shots with a 30-9 lead. Long-range shot put up this time for Deckman, and it falls through this time. Another three-point basket. That's their third of the game.
Yeah, Deckman, 30% from the three-point line. Bangs that one home easily. Great look.
Mew in the corner. Tries to feed this one off now to Watkins. Watkins kind of dribbles out of the pressure, giving it back to Jackson. Give it to the big fella. Fighting through. Tries to put it up and can't get it to go, but he's fouled, so he'll go to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, it looked like that was on. That looks like it's going to be on Richmond. His first foul of the game.
Be sure to stay connected with all things Region Sports by supporting and following us on social media. We're always active on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, and online at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 25 years, we're proud to still be the only game in town.
Yeah, Lance Jackson hits the first one.
So he is 2 of 2 from the line so far, but gets the first point for East Chicago in the second quarter with 3:14 left to go until we get to halftime.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for East Chicago shooting-wise.
So Jackson bends at the knees, puts it up, and puts it in. So now all of a sudden 2 points for East Chicago. Will this be something now that they've seen the ball kind of go through the net? Will this be enough to kind of get them going here in this second quarter?
Yeah, East Chicago's backed off of that full court pressure because Columbia City was just getting too many easy looks. Now they just go man-to-man.
I mean, they were breaking it from the onset of that pressure, and that's probably something that they saw in the scouting report here. As Eberle gets trapped on the baseline, it's going to be Eagles basketball as it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, Columbia City just playing great team basketball, moving the ball around, and then anytime Richmond gets an easy look in the paint, he's been taking full advantage of it.
Just under 3 minutes to go here before we hit the halftime. 22-point lead going up and in. This time, I believe, it was for Owen Marshall.
Yeah, Marshall just sort of snuck through the zone from the out-of-bounds play on the baseline and just got an easy look.
He's got 11 points in this one as Wolford at the top of the key, trying to feed it down to Jackson on that left block, trying to push his way through. And Jackson is a one-man show here in this second quarter with 2:30 to go. He's got all 4 points of this second quarter, trying to get an interception there. It doesn't work. Kicks now to Colson, now kicks it off to Eberle in the corner. Clausen almost had a stolen away ball on the ground, and East Chicago.
Yeah, call a timeout. Columbia City, good call right there by Coach.
Yeah, they saw just a little bit too frantic. A lot of things not going the way that they were wanting. So let's just go ahead and collectively get ourselves here. They got 2:14 left to go until the half. Don't forget we got awards we're going to hand out at the end of this one. We're going to have the Crowd Company's Lantern Man Superhero of the game.
Yeah,
we have offices open 9 to 7 Monday through Friday, and Saturday still 2 here in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City.
I was going to say Lance Richmond up for the award right now, or Landon Richmond up with 12 points on the game so far.
Not too shabby. I think Lance Jackson might be one of those guys to consider well if you're an East Chicago fan. We've also got the Boilermakers Local 374 blue-collar player of the game, earned while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. Might have to give that to Jay Simmons for getting up this early on a Saturday, first day of spring break.
That's right, baby.
Especially recovering from surgery as well, so thanks for hobbling in here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't come running down here. I hobbled down.
That's right. I'll leave that one alone. So Columbia City will inbound here with 2:10 left to go, crossing the timeline, now kicking it off into the wing. As they pass around the perimeter, waiting for their shot to come through. That's going to be advantageous for them, and something will open. They move a lot. There is constantly movement here as Richmond tried to go up with it, but it was taken away by East Chicago. Watkins goes up high off the window, can't get it to go, gets his own rebound. He's going to try to fight his way underneath on the baseline, tries to spin around, goes up and in. So much happening on that play. Hard to dissect all of it right now, but what a play for Watkins.
Yeah, Watkins was amongst the trees and was able to get that easy look right through the defense.
Yeah, he got too low underneath the basket at one point, was able to push his way back in, but now, just like that, I believe it's not a 6-0 run, but at least 6 points here now to get going here to cut this to a 20-point game as Deckman hits the back iron. So if East Chicago can go this final minute of play and get some points and maybe get some stops on Columbia City, a little short on the runner there. Long pass up ahead, up and in.
Yeah, nice job.
That looked like Clausen there.
Yes, it was. Yeah, great job. Columbia City gets that defensive rebound and pushes it up the court for an easy look at the other end. They are taking full advantage of those defensive boards.
Might have been St. John on the play. We'll give it to him. And the runner's still no good. East Chicago is either hitting long or they're hitting short. They're not finding that right spot there just to get it through the basket.
Yeah, they are struggling offensively.
Deckman with it at the volleyball line, extended, hands it off to Marshall here. Marshall skips it across. Back to Deckman.
Yeah, they're going to hold for the last shot here with 24 seconds and counting.
Yeah, not the worst play from their perspective here.
No, let that clock burn out. Their clock is their friend here, right here, late in the second quarter.
I don't know if you can hear it, but you can hear those advocates for the shot clock screaming right now.
Yeah, they get the ball moving with 4 seconds left.
Call the foul on the block, and I believe this is going to be on Mew.
Well, that's a good foul right there. They're not in a bonus yet, and they only have 3 seconds left to get the shot off. So good job by Coach Maruri telling their players to foul right there as they're trying to take the ball to the basket.
Yeah, not the worst foul in the world, trying to feed this one up. Stolen away by Wolford, and with time expiring, didn't get the shot off in time as clock was expiring. Dished it off to try to get somebody else to shoot it, but needed to just put one up. But 37-15 your score. 13 points scored by Columbia City in that second quarter. And now as we're back here on our camera, so 37-15 your score. Michael Brenner here along with Jay Simmons, accidentally working the production here today. I think so far the story is just East Chicago not hitting those shots, and they're shooting a lot of threes. Not one of them has fallen yet, though. The only 3-point play they got was the play that was the 2-pointer and one.
Yes, Lance Jackson's really carrying this team, and he's not one of their big scorers, but he's doing a great job getting inside, getting the ball on the block, and punching in some points. But East Chicago just not on fire like they were last week from the 3-point line, and in general from the field they have struggled. And you got to give Columbia City some credit; they've been playing outstanding defensively.
Make sure you stay with us after the game as well. Have the Proud Union Home play of the game. To find out how you can become a Union Iron Worker, visit ironworkers395.com. So our Proud Union Home play of the game presented by Iron Workers Local 395. With that, we're going to send you to the halftime. We'll be back in just a moment. You're listening to and watching Game Day here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
It's time for the Commissioner's Corner, an exclusive weekly conversation about Indiana high school sports with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. Now for an up-to-the-minute report about what's happening in the constantly changing world of high school sports, here's Commissioner Paul Neidig.
Welcome, everyone, into this week's Commissioner's Corner, our weekly conversation with the Commissioner of the IHSAA, Paul Neidig. I'm Brendan King. Paul, that time of year, semi-state for boys basketball coming up this weekend, and then a couple weeks from now, we're going to crown some state champions over at Cambridge Fieldhouse. Before we go into the matchups, great time of year, man. How are you?
No, I'm doing great, Brendan. You're right, man. It's just such a great time of year. I mean, we've marched all the way through winter here and celebrated multiple state championships, and have been all gone off really well. We just finished last weekend at Worthing Arena in Muncie, our girls gymnastics state championship, and it was decided by 1/10 of a point for the champion. And so Homestead won that. And so it was a great weekend. But yeah, we're ready to really focus in on boys basketball and finish with 2 strong weeks coming up.
IHSAA.org for everything you need to know, matchups, tickets, schedules, everything. So let's go over it, starting in Class A. Here are your matchups. In Class A, from Washington, the 10 a.m. game, Bar Reeve takes on Liberty Christian. At noon, it's Bloomfield against Hauser. From Lafayette Jeff, in Class A as well, 10 a.m. start, Monroe Central, North Vermilion. Noon tip, Tri-County and Triton. In 2A, Southport at Southport Fieldhouse, 10 a.m. start. Park Heritage battles Triton Central. At noon, it's Linton Stockton against Austin. Staying in Class 2A from Muncie Central, 10 a.m. game, Fort Wayne Bishop Lures against Oak Hill. And at noon, it's Westview and Lapel. In Class 3A from Logansport at the Berry Bowl, 10 a.m. tip, New Haven will go against Delta. And at noon, it's Columbia City and East Chicago Central. From Seymour, Roncalli matches up with Silver Creek at 10 a.m. And at noon, it's Indianapolis Cathedral against Princeton Community. Finishing up in Class 4A, Elkhart at 10 a.m., it's Northridge versus Homestead. At noon, it's Crown Point against Fort Wayne Snyder. Lastly, from Newcastle, what a venue, 10 a.m. start, Mount Vernon Fortville and Decatur Central. At noon, it's New Albany versus Terre Haute North Vigo. All right, Paul, there's the tale of the tape. It's going to be a great weekend.
It is, and certainly that was a great rundown by our very own Brendan King here as he gets ready for these state tournaments coming up. But, it's exciting. We play in 8 venues around the state. And if you can get out and watch one of these, I mean, it's their old traditional format where we play 2 games in the morning and we finish up with the championship in the evening. But if you can't get out, you can also watch it on IHSAA TV this weekend. And you can do it for the price of a ticket. So you don't have the expense to get to an event, but you can also watch it online. Or if you want to spend $20, you can get every game played this weekend and watch them all and just have a basketball weekend. And so we're excited.
It's been a few years now, of course, the 2 games in one day at semi-state. What have you seen as the response to that? Because the intensity and the competition, especially the last couple of years, has been spectacular.
Yeah, I think it's done what we wanted to. We wanted to kind of build momentum throughout the tournament. In that sectional week, oftentimes teams have to play 3 games in a single week to win a state champ or win a sectional championship. You move on to regional week, you just got to prepare for one. And then to be able to play in the biggest game we have, which is that state championship game, you're going to have to win 2. And so we've seen a lot of enthusiasm that we are carrying double the number of teams a week longer. And we also have 4 more communities hosting events, and people are eating in their restaurants and buying gas there and enjoying the amenities of the cities that are hosting these tournaments for us.
We'll talk about more state championships next week, but the preparation, Gamebridge Fieldhouse is a busy place, hosting D2, D3, NIT championships. Punch in the IHSAA with them as well.
Yeah, it's certainly a basketball state with basketball championships to be won, and we're excited about just to be a small part of that.
It's a great time of year. That's Paul Neidig. I'm Brendan King. Paul, just anything that anybody needs to know, IHSAA.org for tickets and matchups, right?
That's right. Tickets, matchups, links to watch the games online. They're all right there.
This is the Commissioner's Corner. When we come back next week, we'll have all your state championship matchups, storylines, schedules. Can't wait. Paul, appreciate the time.
Thank you, Brendan.
Thanks for listening to The Commissioner's Corner with IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig, and thank you for your continued support of the high schools in your community.
Welcome back to Game Day here on the Region Sports Network. Coverage of East Chicago Central Cardinal basketball is brought to you by the Region Lawyers, the gold standard for legal representation. Call today at 219-885-3957 or visit them on the web at theregionlawyers.com to schedule your free consultation. For East Chicago, they're wanting some consultation right now because they need they need to hit some buckets, and they're trying to figure out where they can get that from. I'm guessing Coach Murray's not going to be firing his staff at this point in the game, but they need some help. They need to score some buckets. Maybe they'll start happening at the other end of the court. We'll find out.
Well, it seems like they're coming up short on all the runners that they've been taking inside the lane, and it just seems like, Landon Richmond at 6'5" is being a big distraction for the East Chicago Cardinals. When they go into the lane, he just seems to be in their face. He hasn't blocked any shots yet, but it seems like he's projecting that attitude that, hey, I'm going to get in your face and I'm going to try and block that shot, and he's redirecting all their shots inside the lane. And then on top of it, East Chicago's got some great looks from the three-point line, but have not hit anything yet.
And that's the big one. The shot lights out last week, and all of a sudden coming up short so far. Now, can that change in the second half? Of course it can.
Yes.
And all of a sudden make this a little bit closer of a game. But you mentioned Landon Richmond. I've got him for about 12 points right now. That's unofficial. Sometimes I forget how to write numbers and stuff like that. My shoes are on, though, so that's where part of the problem comes in. We're in a small little broadcasting area here. And then you got Owen Marshall following right behind. He did a lot of that dirty work in that first quarter, but 11 points for him. And then for East Chicago, nobody in double-figure scoring as of yet. The leading scorer is Lance Jackson, who did a lot of that dirty work in that second quarter, getting those free throws. 3 for 3 from the line.
Yes, 53% on the season from the charity strike. He only averages 5 points a game in the regular season, so the rest of the team really needs to get going. I mean, you need Pollard, you need Gillis, you need Mute. You get going, feel comfortable. It seems like they're really a little bit nervous out there, Michael, and it just seems tight. They're playing tight, and they just seem to be overwhelmed by the moment.
Well, and it feels odd because most people didn't have high expectations on the Cardinals going into this year because they knew they were going to have a small number of seniors, a lot of freshmen on this team, but they are superseding expectations. So really, I would think the MO going into this game would have been along the lines of, hey, we're playing with house money. There's no need for nerfs. Nobody expects us to win anything. There's no pressure on you. Just go and do your job. Go and do your thing. But it feels like maybe there is a little bit of pressure on them right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they were projected last week at 13% to win against Mishawaka Marion. So, like you said, they're playing with house money. They've got to really get going. They've got to stop. Once they got to do is stop Landon Richmond, and then they've got to get some three-point looks and make them fall.
We're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll be back with halftime in the second half of this game between Columbia City and East Chicago Central. You're watching and listening to Game Night here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Welcome back to Game Night here on the Region Sports Network. Michael Brenner here along with Jay Simmons. Columbia City starts things up here in the second half. They go right to left on the floor. Richmond with it in the middle of the paint. Gets the little bump there from Jackson. Now dishes it off to the corner for Eberly, who's been held off the scoreboard so far. Richmond gives it up off the foot, and they'll say a kicked ball. An inadvertent kick.
Yeah, it looked like Pollard kicked the ball, but East Chicago coming out in a 1-3-1 half-court trap, trying to pick up the pace, pick up the tempo, get some turnovers here, and get some easy looks.
Yeah, just trying to throw something different at Columbia City right now, see what might work, what might stick early on here, and that's what Coach Murray's probably going to have to do throughout this game is just make some changes as St. John goes for the three, and it rattles on down.
Yeah, that's one of the weaknesses of 1-3-1 is those corners, and St. John right there just banging it home.
And I've got him now, the third member of this team in double-digit scoring. Again, these numbers are unofficial. Long-range three put up and good this time for Pollard. He's finally on the scoreboard. That's a big hit for East Chicago.
Yeah, it is. That gets them their first three ball of the day.
And that's, once you get that, is that going to open up some opportunities here for East Chicago, some confidence and momentum? They've already been carrying that throughout this tournament so far. Can they use that to propel them? Get a stop here on this end as Richmond into the paint. Gets swarmed there in the paint, going for the Euro step, and good. I believe that was Deckman that got that bucket.
Yeah, Deckman right there with that easy look. Takes it strong to the basket. Floats it up and in.
So he gets the bucket here, and we'll see as East Chicago can't convert on the three ball there. So now all of a sudden going up and laying it all the way in is Marshall. Marshall putting it home. East Chicago comes back down in transition here, so they didn't get the stops they wanted, couldn't convert on the three. Pollard's going to pull up from a long-range three at the top of the key, and much like the first half, the threes are not falling except for that one here early on in the quarter.
Yeah, banging it off the back of the rim. It just seems like their sightline's not very good today.
Going off the rim, and Jackson's going to get called for the foul as Richmond can't get it to fall, but he'll go to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, Richmond's strong take to the basket. And Lance Jackson picking up the foul. I'm going to say that is his second in the game. So he's been playing a pretty clean defensively game so far. And he's usually used to getting a couple minutes rest here in the second quarter and a little bit in the third quarter. And he looks like he's huffing and puffing a little bit out there, Mr. Bradner.
Yeah, Coach Marui is not in a position where he can really lose any of his starters right now. as Richmond can't convert on the first free throw. The second miss from the charity stripe in this game for the Eagles. Be sure to stay connected with all things Region Sports by supporting and following us on social media. We're always active on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, and online at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 25 years, we're proud to still be the only game in town. Richmond connects on the second free throw, and feel free to send a nice message to our sports director, Mike Dewan, always doing a great job. He likes communicating with the people, so if you've got any wonderful things to say.
He's a man of the people.
He is a man of the people.
East Chicago just stagnant, really, offensively. Looks like Deckman picks up a blocking foul right there as Watkins tries to take the ball to the basket.
And that was away from the ball as well.
East Chicago going to get the ball out of bounds underneath their own basket with 5:37 left to go in the third quarter.
Mentioned we got Zach Zanelli working the production today. Michael Brenner, Jay Simmons, your crew for today, calling this action here between Columbia City and East Chicago. Not to mention we've got Chris Ramirez in the studio as well today, our executive producer. Not to mention we've got our sports director, Mike Dewan, leading the charge here, keeping it crispy as always. Long-range pass that is intercepted by East Chicago. Pollard in the paint going up. He gets fouled on his way up, so he'll go to the line. His first trip to the free throw line.
Yeah, it looks like Owen Marshall, number 4 for Columbia City, picks up the foul. Pollard, 64% from the free throw line on the season.
So 5:20 to go here in this third quarter. Also got our operations manager, Rich Castillo, doing a great job as well. Zach Miller over in Elkhart right now, our coordinating producer, as Pollard comes up short on the first free throw attempt.
Well, you're being awfully generous, handing out all those niceties to all the people working here.
You know, people deserve it. They work hard here at the Region Sports Network.
As he hits the second one.
Yeah, knocks the second one down. You know what? I'm going to stop saying your name.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. You're going to give out your phone number there at some point. Kicking it to the corner. St. John for three. Can't get it to go. Rebound comes down to Eberle, though, and he gets swarmed immediately and falls down, but the ball still gets handed off. It was to Marshall there. Now, again, St. John with an opportunity for three. This time still can't connect.
Yeah,
and now East Chicago trying to go quickly in transition. Gillis coming down the floor. Had it poked away by St. John. St. John on a 2-on-1. Gives it up to Richmond, and he puts it in. And this is just all Columbia City right now. They are just having their way with East Chicago.
Yeah, East Chicago only 4 points here in the third quarter. It's really struggling offensively.
Trying from the right block, Watkins trying to put one up. He had it low and then all of a sudden swatted from behind, and putting this one in finally is Amari Murphy.
Yeah, Murphy coming off the bench with a couple points right there. Big time for East Chicago.
Columbia City calls the time, or East Chicago calls the one of the two teams called timeout. They had the graphic, interestingly, on our air here. So we'll step aside. You're watching Game Night here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Welcome back to Game Day here on the Region Sports Network. Thank you for spending your afternoon listening to the dulcet tones of Michael Brenner and Jay Simmons.
Oh, yeah.
There was just nobody else to work. That's why Jay got to work. That was one big reason why. Again, Columbia City, again, for St. John in the corner. St. John finally connects on another one. He's had 3 opportunities there, and now it's a 50-21 ball game, trying for a 3 in the corner. This one rattles almost halfway down the bucket and kicks out. They are snake-bitten, are the Cardinals right now.
Yeah, Mew had that one spin around, and it looked like it was going in and pops right out. They just cannot catch a break. Coach Maruri working the officials on the sidelines as he does always.
The problem is there's not much to work. I mean, that's as much as you want to try to find something to work in your favor. Down to the final 3:50 here to go in this third quarter. We'll bring you more Streck and Van Til hometown scoreboard updates. Again, the winner of this one will face New Haven, who is the winner of the Northeast 8 Conference, as St. John goes for another 3-point basket. Still can't get it to go. That time is in by Richmond.
And here we go. Scoring update. We've got Crown Point 40, Fort Wayne Snyder 35, 3:55 left in the third quarter.
Not too shabby. Yeah. So over in Elkhart.
Yeah, we'll have one of the regional teams continue on.
I believe we got Leo and Doug out there doing a great job, along with Zach Miller as well. Do we have camera out there just to pick up some footage for the future? Who we got out there, Mike? Thomas Marsh doing great work out there as well, picking up some footage for us for some highlight packages down the road. It's Eberly stuck in the corner, gives it up to Richmond here. Richmond, the ball over his head on that right block, now riding the baseline, kicks it to the corner for Marshall, and 3 for Marshall is offline, no good, hits the back iron. Here comes East Chicago in transition, trying to get something going on their end. Gillis on the baseline, puts it up, and they're going to say no shot, the foul was on the floor. So one of the times, or no, the foul is on the floor, so
yes,
they're going to say not in the active
they call
shooting.
A block.
So one of the times where the bucket finally falls through for East Chicago, doesn't count.
No, they just been struggling offensively. It looks like a couple new guys for East Chicago come in. Zayden Johnson and Walford coming in. Trying to rotate
Javon Walford coming in as well.
Yeah, bring in some fresh bodies. Work on that pace.
Well, we talked about for this team, a lot of freshmen, a lot of seniors. It's kind of a mixed bag between just those two. Not much in between. So good experiences here as the seniors kind of having their final season and kind of still riding that wave and that momentum train from last year.
That's right.
Competing in the semi-state championship game. And then now you got a group of freshmen, and I can attest, I watched them as 8th graders the previous season take our school, Clark Middle School, to task, and they're a good bunch. And I know, talking to Coach Murray last year, I didn't get to talk to him yet this year, as that shot put down. I believe that was Mew on that shot there.
Yeah, Mew right there. Strong take to the basket. Nice little 10-foot jumper. Cuts into the lead. 2:15 left to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, Coach Murray was very excited about that class coming up for this year, that freshman class. So they are doing a job. There's no question about it. So this is a team that's going to get a lot of experience now as freshmen, and that's going to carry over. And when this group is a bunch of seniors, this is going to be a formidable team down the road. The final 2 minutes of this third quarter.
Yeah, Columbia City just working the ball around, looking for a good shot.
And when you look at Columbia City, they are a collection of seniors. So when you talk about as trying to take this one just a little bit short, putting it back up on the second attempt, rebound comes down to Pollard. Shot was put up by Marshall. Pollard going up to the window, can't get it to go, was bumped, but no whistle clearly called.
Yeah, good defense by Deckman right there for Columbia City.
Clausen for 3, knocks that one down. His first points of the second half. Now trying to find his way into the lane is Mew. Mew can't get it to go. Looked like he may have gotten a little bit of a little forearm there, trying to get some momentum and some separation, but no call on that. But he was called for a block.
And it looks like they are going to set the ball out of bounds.
So
not in the act of shooting.
So inbound underneath East Chicago's basket to the left side on that near block from our vantage point.
And you can see the expression, the body language of Mew, just a little frustrated out there. They just really can't get anything to go down, and now they bring back Lance Jackson.
Well, and it's not like any of their shots have been bad shots. I mean, they've been taking good looks and getting their way to the rim. It's just nothing, and it didn't matter which side of the floor you were on, nothing has fallen down. I mean, we talk about snake bitten. It's just...
Yeah, Lance Jackson has the ball stolen away from him, and it looks like Gillis going to pick up a frustration foul, reach in, trying to grab the ball out of the Columbia City's hand.
And it doesn't appear that East Chicago is getting overworked. Like they don't look tired, but they might. I mean, conditioning wise, they look fine. As what didn't look fine there was Richmond falling down, really with no reason for it, just other than tripping over his own feet. Kicking this one into the corner, saving this one, Eberle on his side as an errant pass from Richmond. So Chicago trying to work something here on defense, trying to get another stop if they can.
Looks like the ball goes out of bounds on East Chicago, kicked it away from St. John. Columbia City get the ball out of bounds underneath their own basket.
And so this is where Coach Shoss is trying to get some substitutions in, get guys a breather because they want to save their energy and momentum for a potential championship game later.
Yeah, it looks like Richmond with an easy little putback right there.
So Richmond gets the bucket there.
And it looks like they're trying to look for Lance Jackson in the middle, poked away from number 20, Trey Deckman. Comes over, plays some great defense.
Now into the corner, Eberle for three. He's still held off the scoring column. Can't get that one to go. Long volleyball match underneath. East Chicago comes down with it with about 13 seconds to go, going all the way up to the window and in for Watkins.
Yeah, Watkins taking the ball coast to coast, takes it strong to the basket.
Marshall up against the defense. And they're going to put up a shot for three if it good if it goes, but it is not. So 57-25, your score, 20 points scored by Columbia City in that third quarter, 10 for East Chicago. We go to the final quarter with a chance for a championship matchup later tonight on the line. You're listening to Game Day here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT.
Can't wait for summer, but dreading the heat because your old AC let you down? Don't sweat it out this summer. Call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. The professionals there can fix you up. Install a central air unit that'll last for years. Your family deserves to stay comfortable. And with a 24/7 emergency service, comfort is just a phone call away. Give them a call at 219-923-4441 or check them out on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com.
Welcome back to Game Day here on the Region Sports Network. More than a decade of experience in state and federal courts, the Region lawyers specialize in criminal defense and personal injury. Visit their new office today at 2080 North Main Street in Crown Point. Happy to have you with us here. One quarter left of action here between East Chicago and Columbia City. Columbia City up 57-25 at the moment. So it has been all Columbia City here in this one from the BBall. Again, we do have award winners we're going to hand out at the end of this one. As Jackson trying in the post, can't get it to go. Great defense from Richmond. And it has just been smothering defense by this Columbia City Eagles team.
And you notice why they only give up 42 points a game defensively. And it looked like that was Gillis right there with an errant three ball.
Yeah, it didn't even come close to the rim. Hit the backboard, though. But you can tell maybe there is a little bit of fatigue going on for this East Chicago team and working harder than they've probably had to work, especially on the defensive end here. Rebounds are always an important part of the game. This one comes down to Watkins Jr. Again, we're going to have awards we're going to hand out at the end of this one. We got the Crowd Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the game. The Crowd Companies are proud to recognize superheroes on the basketball court. And Gillis finally getting a three ball into the scoring column for him in this second half. Might be one of those players to consider for for that, and I believe that was
Owen Marshall.
Marshall comes in for the 2-point basket. Back in transition is trying to pick up the speed again for East Chicago. And they weren't hitting their threes, and this one smacked away by Richmond, and they're going to call a foul eventually, but
it was
I think it was on Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson trying to, as Richmond blocked the shot, got his own rejection, and then East Chicago got caught trying to reach in and take the ball away from Richmond. Richmond playing outstanding defensively, redirecting a lot of shots in the middle.
And he's having a great game offensively as well.
As he goes to the bench.
He's got 19 points I got him for right now. And again, that's all really unofficial numbers. Long pass to the half court. Giving it up to St. John here. St. John kicking it out to St. John. St. John to the window and putting it in.
Yeah, nice cut away from the ball by St. John, getting an easy look.
I've got him for 15. This one's swatted away, and this is one of the things that we were showing earlier, or we were talking about earlier, is that for East Chicago, they were kind of short on some of their shots, maybe a little nervous about getting their stuff swatted away, and it's been happening here these last two possessions. Strike of Until hometown scoreboard update: Crown Point up 58-40 on Fort Wayne Snyder. Again, if that score holds, Crown Point will face Northridge later on this evening. We will have that for you right here on the Region Sports Network from Elkhart. I believe that is that Northside Gym? Yes. It's a Northside Gym. We'll have that one. If a miracle were to occur here at the Berry Bowl and East Chicago were to get back into this one and get the W, we will have that championship game for you as well from Logansport.
Yeah, Watkins gets the ball, tries to go up, and it looks like it was swatted out of bounds by Trey Deckman. It looks like East Chicago gets the ball underneath the basket.
I will say this is where some of the fans, especially if you're a Columbia City fan, would appreciate your skills in running the clock.
Oh,
letting
yes.
things go a couple seconds longer than most people would expect, I think, is you've got a skill down that most people don't notice.
And that's the idea behind the secret.
Well, now I've just outed you. Sorry.
Yes, you did.
Well, when we need a quick trigger on that one, we'll make sure we call you.
I appreciate that. Watkins tries to take the ball to the basket, nothing doing.
That's also after we call 15 other people first that aren't available.
Yeah, hey, you got to know where you're at in the food chain.
61-28, your score right now with 5 minutes to go. Columbia City will inbound.
They get the ball underneath their basket.
So
East Chicago in a man-to-man defense.
This guy's set up on the blocks and on the elbows, so we'll see some screens and cuts across and see who gets that open look, and it's going to be Richmond there inside the paint, who gets kind of pushed around a little bit there, but hands it off to Deckman, who hits a long-range three in the corner. So just continuing to pad the lead. And I believe we have a running clock at this point, as it is 64-28. So long three put up on the back iron, this time no good. Mew comes up with it on the rebound and puts it home.
Yeah, Mew crashing the boards, gets an easy look.
I believe he's now in the scoring column for the first time for the young freshman, but we're really going to be exciting to watch him over these next couple of seasons along with the rest of the freshmen for this East Chicago team. And that's just one of the things, when you talk about the history of East Chicago, there's just so much history between all the different schools that have been there throughout the course of basketball lore and the men's and the women's side of things. One of those great documentaries that we've followed on the Region Sports Network, that We Are EC documentary.
Yes.
A phenomenal documentary that kind of chronicles the history, as the shot for Gillis is down for a 3-point basket. Makes it a 64-33 game. There's going to be a timeout taken by Columbia City. It'll be a full timeout, so we'll take it with them. You're listening to Game Night here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step toward your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
Sometimes the hardest part of improving your business isn't coming up with a great idea. It's knowing what to do with it. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services is ready to meet all your industrial and commercial construction needs. Whether it's a small build-out or a complete construction project, Chester will design, build, and finance. Our team eliminates multiple contractors, providing you a single point of contact while staying within your budget. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services, turning your ideas into realities.
Today's coverage of East Chicago Central basketball is brought to you by the Region Lawyers, the gold standard for legal representation. Call today at 219-885-3957 or visit them on the web at theregionlawyers.com to schedule your free consultation. Columbia City with the lead over East Chicago Central right now in the fourth quarter. Final 4 minutes of play from the Berry Bowl. You know, last year East Chicago got the win over Delta to go to the championship game. And again, like I said earlier, barring a miracle, that's likely not going to happen here tonight. But I tell you what, this East Chicago team, we've mentioned this already, going to be a formidable team down the road. You know, their entire schedule is not an easy one. 15-12 doesn't look like a great record. But when you look at all the teams that they've played,
they play a Duneland Conference schedule.
They literally, they should be a member of the Duneland Conference. They went 2-6 playing the entire Duneland Conference. One more win than Lake Central, by the way, in that conference. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough schedule, and it's for reasons like this. We always talk about, your strength of schedule, and some people don't care about that, but you want to play the tougher opponents because when you get farther down into these state tournaments, you are going to play really, really good teams that are south of where you're at. That's just how we are here in Northwest Indiana. But you're going to play really, really good teams, so when you are battle-tested, even if you lose those games, now you're ready, and you can make those adjustments.
Yeah, we got 5 new guys on a line change for Columbia City.
3-shot put up, no good, and it's the same guys as usual for East Chicago, and Jackson steals this one away. Big man running down the floor, trying to work his way up, a little too strong, and he's going to get called for a foul on his way up. Love when the 6'4 senior running down the floor.
Hey, leads the break.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, he goes, I'm not passing this one off. I'm taking this one to the basket. It looks like they call it on the ground.
I'm going to make a highlight play here. I'm going to go for one of them awards that those guys.
Yeah, and East Chicago doing a line change here. Some new guys coming in that haven't been in yet.
Be sure to stay connected with all things Region Sports by supporting us on social media. We're always active on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, and online at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 25 years, we're proud to still be the only game in town as those seniors start coming off the floor for East Chicago.
Hey, this is the time I usually get in a game.
I'm going to leave that one alone. Jamari Pollard coming off the floor as long shot put up, no good on the three-point attempt. So guys like Javon Wolford as well, along with Joseph Watkins. You got Amari Murphy and I got Amari Murphy on there twice actually, and then Lance Jackson as well.
Hey, you got to give the guy his props, man. He scored scored some points.
Yeah, we're the Region Sports Network. We're gonna show the love to our East Chicago guys.
Braden Elkins scores, senior.
All right, the senior who's likely to play in the championship game tonight for Columbia City. They'll take on their conference opponent in New Haven. I don't know how often that happens, where in a semi-state championship that your conference foe, and who actually won the conference, going 6-1. So Columbia City, when they faced New Haven, let's go find that
right
number.
here.
I got it right here.
Oh, okay, buddy.
I got Columbia right here. I got you.
All right, New Haven, 20-7 on the season. Well, 21-7 on the season after a victory this morning.
And they lost New Haven, and that was in overtime, so a 70-67 final. So we'll see.
It's going to be an interesting one.
It should be an interesting semi-state championship game with the right to go to Indianapolis.
Yeah, New Haven with the victory, 63-49 in the morning game.
Over Delta, team that East Chicago beat last year in the semifinal. We'll have a backcourt violation here against Dittlinger for Columbia City. As we mentioned a running clock, so down to the final 40 seconds here.
See, if you're East Chicago and you're coming off the bench, you got to chuck it up.
Or feed it down low into the post to Mew.
Mew gets another 2 points.
So is there a Mewtwo joke in there? Is that where that?
Nope.
I'm guessing Jay doesn't even get that reference.
Nope.
You didn't strike me as a Pokemon guy.
No.
So trying to get things wrapped up here at the Berry Bowl. East Chicago will not foul. Columbia City does not have to get the ball across the timeline, and that will be it. Columbia City gets the win 66-37 over East Chicago. We mentioned that, tough one for East Chicago in the semifinal, semi-state game, but at the same time, this is going to be a team we will see in the future. Without
definitely.
question.
Yes. What they really need to do is just find a big man, and they will be settled in for the next 3 years.
We're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll get those numbers crunched, and we'll bring you our award winners on the other side of the break. You are listening to Game Day here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step toward your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
When it comes to your money, you deserve more than just numbers on a page. You deserve someone who sees the full picture. Meet Mark Machnick, one of Northwest Indiana's most trusted accounting professionals. Whether you're running a business, planning for retirement, or just trying to make sense of tax season, Mark Machnick, located in Highland, makes it simple, personal, and believe it or not, painless. Contact Mark and his team today at 219-595-5290. Mark Machnick, CPA.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT.
You ready? Let's go! Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, yo. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name.
Your future starts
here.
Located in the heart of downtown Indianapolis, the newly renovated Hampton Inn is within walking distance to over 30 restaurants and attractions, including Lucas Oilfield and Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Hampton Inn has much to offer, including a hot breakfast, high-speed internet access in every room, as well as a fitness center. Why wait? Make your reservations today. Call 317-261-1200 or make them on the web at hamptonin3.hilton.com. Hampton Inn, Indianapolis, downtown.
Welcome back to Game Day here on the Region Sports Network. Michael Brenner here along with
right.
Jay Simmons. Happy to have you with us. Today's coverage of East Chicago Central basketball is brought to you by the Region Sports Lawyers, the gold standard for legal representation. Call today at 219-885-3957 or visit them on the web at theregionlawyers.com to schedule your free consultation. Jay, just a quick takeaway from the game today.
Just like the moment slipped away from East Chicago, they just seemed very hesitant out there offensively. They just couldn't get any shots to go early, and once that happened, Columbia City just took them to task in that first quarter, 24-9, and just seemed like East Chicago was running scared out there and just couldn't get the energy, the magic that they had last week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there seemed to be a lid on that basketball. We'll have to go out to the Berry Bowl and check that out and see if that's
is that the Pringles lid?
Yeah, we'll have to see if that's a problem. All right, had to go there.
Yes, I did.
All right, we're going to go ahead and name our award winners for today. We've got the Crowd Company's Lancherman Superhero of the Game. They are proud to recognize the superheroes on the basketball court. Where do you want to go with this one?
Who did we have leader of the scoring for?
I had Joseph Watkins for 10 points.
Yeah, we're going to go with Joseph Watkins, the senior on the season, averaging 10 points, got his average. He tried to pick this team up and put him on his back a little bit. It just seemed like he couldn't get it going, and once one of these seniors couldn't get it going, and all of a sudden the freshmen can feel that energy, and it just seemed like it wasn't there today.
Yeah, when you watch your shots not fall through as often as they did tonight, it definitely starts to get in your head that you can't get anything.
That's right.
To fall, unfortunately, but Watkins did get a couple buckets to fall through, so definitely some senior leadership there for the young man. Our Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the Game. Learn about apprenticeship programs and more at local374.org.
Yeah, we're going to go with Lance Jackson. Actually did an outstanding job from the free throw line today. What was he on
I hit him 3 for 3.
3 for 3, and he shot 53% on the season. So outstanding job, not only getting the ball in the block, but trying to really force Landon Richmond to play some tighter defense and taking some shots. And he just couldn't was sort of outmatched underneath the boards today.
Yeah, wasn't able to muscle his way on the post as much as we probably have seen him in the past, but he definitely got the scoring started in that second half to try to get some momentum built for East Chicago. Time to name our proud Union Home Play of the Game, presented by Ironworkers Local 395. To find out how you can become a Union Ironworker, visit ironworkers395.com.
And we're going to go with Jamari Pollard with the three ball to start the second half. And all of a sudden you felt that, a little something that East Chicago was going to come back, and it just seemed, Pollard hitting that three got everybody excited, got the East Chicago something to cheer for right away, and then it just sort of fell flat from there.
Yeah, after making no threes in that first half, it just felt like, okay, is the door going to start to open up? Is it going to start raining inside the Berry Bowl with some threes for East Chicago? It didn't work out that way, but definitely brought some hope to the East Chicago faithful, and going to be exciting to watch this team going forward. But Pollard hitting that three will be our play of the game. Our executive producer is Chris Ramirez, our operations manager, Rich Castillo, along with our coordinating producer, Zach Miller, who will be out at Elkhart this evening. Our sports director doing a great job here in the studio is Mike DeWan. Zach Zanelli, our producer here in studio today, along with some special thanks for Coach Ala Marui of East Chicago and Matt Schoss of Columbia City. Graylin Gordon, the athletic director, big thanks to him for everything he always does for us over there at East Chicago. And then Leach with Columbia City, and then Brian Strong, the athletic director over at Logansport as well, for getting us everything we needed over at Logansport. And then, of course, you, the viewers on YouTube, Facebook, regionsports.com, wherever you might be tuning in from. Appreciate you. Without you all, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So Crown Point likely doing battle tonight. Our last update, is that a final, or do we have, we're going to check here quickly. Your broadcast crew today, myself, Michael Brenner, along with the one and the only Jay Simmons. And it's fun to kind of maybe, I think for me, I think my season is done on the basketball side, but Striking Van Til Hometown Scoreboard update. Crown Point looks like they are up 72-47. I think my basketball season might be done for the year, and it was fun to kind of bookend my season with you.
We open up the season, girls basketball, in
Portage.
Portage, middle of November, and we finish it off here in late March.
Yeah, not too shabby. Didn't see each other during the season, like during that stretch in between. So nice to bookend the season. Always pleasure to work with you, buddy. And I don't know how much you're going to do baseball, but I hope you enjoy your retirement at the end of the school season as well.
May 29th, baby.
He's got the golden ticket, and the countdown is on. There's no question about it. But always fun. You're not leaving the Region Sports Network. So
no,
not at all.
Have something to do.
All right, so that for the final time, Columbia City gets the win at 66-37. Appreciate all of you tuning in for this audio-only broadcast. For the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Tonight's broadcast is made possible by Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Ironworkers Local 395, proud to be union. Four Seasons Mechanical, quality and comfort is our guarantee. Boilermakers Local 374, earn while you learn. IBEW Local 697, proud to support high school sports. Bricklayers Local 4, the best hands in the business. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. The Right Group, the right way to buy and sell real estate. Mark Machnick, Chicagoland Tax Professionals. Blythe's Team Sports, where the athlete shops. And Hampton Inn, downtown Indianapolis. This is the Region Sports Network.